This episode of the Adam Carolla Show is brought to you by Simply Safe.
The Ace Man's back in Boston at the Wilbur Theater on Thursday, November 6th. Then Friday, November 7th in Buffalo, New York at Electric City. On Saturday, he's down in Duluth, Georgia, appearing with Megyn Kelly at Gas South Arena. Get tickets for these shows and more at adamcarolla.com.
Cheryl Hines in studio, actress, comedian, got a book out, Cheryl Hines, Unscripted. It is available. That is coming up November 11th. It's a memoir, and it's high time. Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you. Very good to see you.
Been thinking about you a lot because, because you're on The View, and, you know, you're sort of thrown into the mix. I just got a text from Harmeet Dillon like 2 days ago. Said, like, I'm in Washington, the swamp. It's miserable. But I listen to the podcast, so it's getting me through my morning walk. So thanks, Harmeet. So you know, you're an actress, you're in Hollywood, it's great, and then next thing you know, you're on The View, and they're all sniping at you.
Yeah.
And it's kind of nuts, right?
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
I mean, not something you'd anticipated.
No, I could not have written this story.
Right. And it's not really that you did anything. I don't even think your husband has done anything. It's just somehow they picked a side.
Yes.
And they went nuts.
Yes.
And you're part of the problem. And I don't even know what they're talking about, really.
Yeah, they just have a lot of feelings that they needed to express to someone, and I was in the hot seat.
I know, and you held your own, and you did very well, and I don't know what they're talking about, but we'll get into them later. It's a memoir, so let's talk about the journey for you. Where do you start off?
Well, in the book, I start with the phone call from Larry David when he told me that Curb was going to be a series and he wanted me to play his wife. Mm-hmm. And I said, wow, that is the best news I've ever heard.
Yes.
And he said, don't say that. I said, why? He goes, that can't be true. I said, it is true.
It is. It's a great show.
Yeah, and at that moment in time, that was the best news I'd ever heard.
Yeah.
And then I go back, to talk about from where I came. You know, I grew up in Florida, and I come from humble means, and just going from Florida to LA, didn't know anybody, and what that journey looked like, landing in LA, and then 9 years later, overnight, getting Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, was it 9 years later? I forget Curb Your Enthusiasm's been around for 20 years.
It is crazy. 24 years.
24.
It took us 24 years.
To do like 9 seasons or
12.
something? 12 seasons. It's incredible because the span of time that show is run over. It's so unconventional.
Yes.
It's so unconventional because we grew up and it's like MASH was a huge part of our childhood, and that was 6 seasons or 7 seasons, but they're all linear. It was all in the same, one after the other, 1973 to 1980, done, not over 24
decades.
Years. Yeah. So we're used to Mary Tyler Moore, whatever we grew up with, being just sort of linear and
right.
short
and it runs
sweet.
for a while. And then there's the finale, and it's like, oh, I'm sad that show is over.
Right. But this spread out is nuts. So it starts in 01, 02?
I think we shot the 1 hour special in 1999.
Wow. But you worked a lot before that, right?
Not really.
No, you were around,
here
though.
And there.
You didn't show up on that show and people go, who's that?
Yeah, I did.
You did? I felt like I knew you.
Well, that was one of the things that they were looking for an unknown actress to play Larry's wife. Mm-hmm. So it was, very intentional because, Larry had Richard Lewis on and Jerry Seinfeld. And so you have these people who are, these people. So then when I showed up as his wife, people just thought, oh, that must be his wife. I know that's Richard Lewis. So it was, it was intentional.
Oh, he wanted people to think you were his wife in real life
Yeah.
because everything else was sort of in real life.
Yeah. It was like a mockumentary.
So was he in love with you?
In real life?
Yeah.
No.
Well, if that's what you're going for, I mean, well, what's outlandish about that? It's a possibility, right?
I don't know. It's a TV show.
I know, but if you are doing a TV show where it's sort of art imitating life, and you have your friends in it, and you're sort of fudging the lines of reality because these guys are your friends or is your whatever.
Yeah, but I didn't know Larry at all.
You didn't know him at all
before I met him for the audition.
And how did the audition work?
It was all improvised.
Mm-hmm.
They said I was going in to audition for Larry's wife. And I thought, I think I'm too young for that. But then, I was told not to touch him, and if it seemed fake, the audition would be over, and they opened the door. And then Larry said, and then I really liked Larry the moment I met him.
Mm-hmm.
I really connected with him, and we had fun, and he said, let's just imagine we have kids, and I don't eat chicken anymore. That's all you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay. And then we started talking, and he asked me what was for dinner, and I said potatoes and green beans and chicken cacciatore. And he said, well, I just told you I'm not eating chicken.
Right.
And I said, yeah, you don't have to eat the chicken.
Right.
And that was basically the audition, was going back and forth about that.
But you had your sort of made your bones with the Groundlings.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so you have that
improv
base.
background. Yes.
Yes.
No,
which
I
is
wouldn't.
Nice.
I would not have been able to. It would be a completely different audition if I didn't have a improv background. I think it would be very intimidating.
What years were you at the Groundlings?
Oh boy, I think it is so weird to talk about 19-something.
Yeah.
I think probably 1995 to 2000.
So, like, when did you take? So, did you take basic in 1995?
Yeah.
So, I did the Groundlings and probably did basic in probably like 85, as I think about now. So they're pretty young.
85. How old were you? You were young.
I had like Cynthia Seghetti as my teacher, and
She was a great teacher, right? Tough.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really care because I'd had football coaches and construction foremen, before that. So it's like you could yell at me.
On you? Yeah.
You could yell at me all you wanted. I didn't really care.
Yeah.
Cynthia did a lot of that. It didn't bother me. I was already getting my sort of ass kicked by life. So one more ass kicking in some air conditioning didn't really help. Didn't hurt me.
Yeah.
And I was kind of used to it.
Yeah.
And I mostly internalized. I was like, well, you had it coming. Like you did whatever you did. Well, you fucked up however you fucked up. So you get yelled
in the
at.
improv, yeah.
No, or anywhere.
Oh.
I mean, on a construction site or on a football field, just you fucked up, you get yelled at.
You take it
I got it.
Keep moving.
The only time she got me is when my girlfriend Stephanie dumped me, and I was like 21 and I was really 22. I don't know. I was in a bad way.
Yeah.
I was in a real bad way.
Yeah.
And as you can only be when you're like young
and just
and
heartbroken.
you get dumped
So
and you got
hard.
nothing going on.
Yeah.
You're poor and everything.
Yeah.
And during the break of the class, I tried to like call my girlfriend on payphone on Melrose, and I don't know if she hung up or just, yelled something like, get it through your head, we're over, or something, whatever it was.
Right.
Hung up the phone. I went back in and I said to Cynthia, like during the break, I said, I cannot get my head together. Like, I just have to leave. I'm just leaving. And I can't, I'm my girlfriend, I'm a mess. I'm just going to go home and just start drinking or something. But I got to leave. I'm leaving now.
Yeah.
Because I can't handle it. And everyone showed up And someone came back from break, and then she yelled, "Oh, everybody, hey, Mr. Carolla's got to leave now because he's having a problem with his girlfriend, everybody." And, and I was like, "Oh, really?
Wow.
Really?"
That's brutal.
Yeah,
That's
but
brutal.
I figured, well, I told her. And she's a ball buster.
Wow.
So what else?
That's pretty brutal.
Yeah, I got over it.
Comedy's tough.
It was. I mean, that was back. So you went through beginner, intermediate, writer's lab, advanced, Sunday company.
Yeah.
And then into an actual groundling position.
Yeah.
That's defying the odds.
That is
That's
defying
hard to
the
do.
odds. It is almost impossible.
It is.
But clearly possible because I did it. But yeah, the odds are definitely against you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's Navy SEALs type attrition there.
is.
Like 100 men start off and 3 wear the SEAL
true.
badge,
Yeah, because after every level, as you know, you get cut. They cut people from the program.
Yeah.
And then, or you get moved up. But at every level, even after your first improv class, they might say, this isn't for you.
Yeah. Yeah, they will tell you, keep your money and leave. Yeah.
Wait, so how far did you get?
I got to advanced.
Okay.
I was pretty good. I had a problem with advanced, which was in advance you do 2 shows.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to be weighted equally.
Yeah.
But you do one
writing
show and then you
credits.
do another show like 6 weeks later and then
Yeah.
they vote the next day.
Yeah.
So I had a really good first show. And then my second show, they said, now you got to do all against type stuff, like stuff that's not
Right.
anything like your first show, which I did good on
Right.
because I did stuff I was good
Yeah.
at. And then I went and did the second show, which is a bunch of stuff I wasn't good at
Yeah.
because they're like, we want to see what
The
you
other
can
side.
do. And I sort of sucked. And then they voted the next morning. And it was bad timing because they didn't really factor in the first show
Right.
where I was good because that was like 6 weeks earlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got voted out, and then I didn't make it into the Sunday company, and then I was just kind of hang-dogging it around town.
That's hard to go through it that far.
Oh my God!
And you really want it, and you worked really hard.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah. I
worked really
wanted
hard.
it, and I worked hard, and I was out. And they're like, we can take advanced again in a year or something because there's a long waiting
Yes,
list back
yeah.
then. And I was like, in a year? And I was just sitting around my apartment. I was working as a carpenter, and then my girlfriend found something.
Not the same one.
No.
A new one. A better
Yeah,
one.
better one. Found something in the back of the drama log that said Acme Theater was forming.
Oh, yeah.
And I went down there
Yeah.
and just formed up with them. There's just a bunch of groundling rejects, mainly.
But that's good. I mean, they are trained and know what they're doing. And there's only so much space at the groundlings, in even to get into the Sunday show and to get into the main show. So there are so many people that get cut that, of course, go on and do amazing things and are very successful. When I did the advanced, I think I had to repeat advanced. I think so. And
Who were your instructors?
one was Mindy Sterling,
Mindy Sterling, sure.
who I love, and she was great. Kathy Chambly was also great.
Kathy Shamley was one of my instructors.
And then
yeah.
Tony Sepulveda, was my director in the Sunday show.
I remember him being there, but he was never my teacher.
Yeah, but for one of those,
Karen Mariama.
Karen, I
was
never
there.
had. I don't think I ever had her as a teacher, but definitely for improv stuff. But yeah, when they, you would write these sketches, and then at rehearsal, everybody would watch the sketches, and then the teacher, director would then, print out, this is going to be the program. I remember looking at the program, and I said, I do not have one writing credit in this.
For the Sunday show or for the advanced show?
For the advanced show.
Right.
The ones where they're voting on you, and they...
Yeah.
And she said, "Oh, that's okay. Well, let me take a look." I was like, "Yeah, if you could take a look, that would be great." So you have to, it's brutal. You have to fight fight for your stuff and fight
Yeah.
to get it in.
If that's not your wiring, it's kind of tough
Yeah.
too, because
Yeah.
that's not really my wiring.
Yeah, it's not really mine either.
Yeah. But you made it into the
I
company.
made it. Yeah.
And so you come out here from Florida.
Yeah.
The idea is to act, perform.
Yes.
Always with an eye toward comedy.
Well, I always liked comedy. I love stand-up. I love to watch stand-up. I don't love to do it. But in all of my acting classes, I just felt like, whoa, everybody's very dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's really, they're always trying to get you to cry. And then when I came to LA and I went to my first Groundlings, I went to watch a show there.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, yeah, this is where I need to be. Everybody is funny and
Right.
silly,
Yeah.
but also really good actors.
I agree. That's the way I felt. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, man,
Yeah.
this is home.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I want to be around these people.
Yeah.
Is what I
Yeah.
thought.
So I felt like I found my place.
I have a sidebar question about
Bring it on.
Robert, which is I interviewed him several years ago.
Yeah.
And then people were like, how was he? And I was like, he is one of the most serious people I've ever met. And I just said he's a very serious guy, a little bit intimidating, and that he's very smart, and has a lot of knowledge, but that he was so serious. And I don't know, I'm kind of used to fucking around a little bit.
Yeah.
And he seemed like, well, don't just keep it on the straight and narrow with him because he's a real serious guy. And then he came back some years later, not that long, I mean, a couple years later to be interviewed again. And I was like, okay, he's a real serious guy. And then he came back and he was sort of jovial and had a sense of humor about himself and didn't come across that way at all. And then went and did the fundraiser, the benefit, or the laughs comedy show with him and you and everyone else there. And then later on went to the birthday party. And I found him to be completely different. And then I thought, was I just way off on that first encounter, or was he a more serious guy?
No, he has that side.
Did he like not let his guard down or something? What was I missing? How did I misread it?
Well, it's funny because when I love watching him in interviews because he is stone-faced. And I think he's in a mode of, facts, figures, studies. He is like clicking, and people say to me all the time, they're like, wow, he is the most serious person. And I'm always like, he's actually not. But I think he probably has to maybe trust you a little bit to know that, some people in interviews, they're just trying to get him.
Sure, yeah.
So I guess it just depends on, probably by the time that you saw him again, he knew you and knew you weren't just trying to trap him.
I guess so, because every interview he goes into, everyone's always looking for some sort of weird gotcha moment.
Yeah.
I'm kind of disappointed that that's how we turned out to be, because I see him as sort of the gestalt of him, which is he wants people to be healthy, and he wants to follow the science, and he wants to clean up the rivers and clean up the groundwater and clean up the soil. And, when people go into this ad hominem attack about he's against this or he wants that or he's cruel, it rings untrue to me. But it's also like, look, he can be against something that may have some benefit, but it's only because he cares, and he's trying to figure this thing out. And, when you look at rates of autism from 1965 to now or something is going on.
Yeah.
So somebody's asking questions, and he's basically on the good side for me. And the good side are going to be well-intentioned people who are trying to make a positive difference, who occasionally have a misstep or incorrect, but they're not part of the problem by any stretch of the imagination. And it bothers me that we have to attack these people in this new America when they're like literally asking questions.
Right.
Or, Bill Maher saying, hey, during COVID, maybe now would be a good time to talk about people losing a couple pounds and getting into better shape and being a little healthier and eating. And then we're going after Bill. It's like, he's just saying what your doctor would say and what your grandfather said 50 years ago.
Right.
Why is he the problem?
Yeah. That is what's hard about Bobby because, I mean, his track record is, it speaks for itself. He's always been, suing corporations because of environmental toxins, because, an oil company is letting oil into the water or whatever that looks like. And it just doesn't make sense that for decades and decades, that's what he's been doing. And then all of a sudden he wants to kill everybody. It's like, how did you go from there to there? That doesn't track at all.
There's a strange enzyme that we're missing now, which is a kind of motivational thing where people don't understand what people are up to. Like,
Well, they don't want to either, I guess.
Yeah.
It feels like
true.
It feels like camps, right? It's like one side against the other. And instead of, it's just everybody pointing a finger saying you're wrong. Instead of saying, well, okay, let's talk about this.
Yeah, I get the camp part, but the camp also has like a motivation that's ascribed to it, and like sometimes you'll talk to people and you go, well, why do you think he doesn't want people to get 2,600 vaccinations? Because he's cruel. It's like, okay. It's not because he's cruel, and it's not because he hates kids. There's a motivation. Now, what do you think that motivation is? And we're so far off. It's so weird. And it's sort of, it shows that the people that are making the accusations don't really have a good intellectual capacity, because you wouldn't just say because the person is bad.
Right.
You would say, I think he's misguided, or maybe the data's wrong, or he's not interpreting the data or something.
Whatever that
but
is.
not just because he's Carolla DeVille's stepbrother and is evil.
Right.
And by the way, you see life through like a comic book lens. If that's what you do, he's trying to do something and maybe you disagree with it.
Right.
But it's not because he's cruel.
Right. That is what's really hard. It's hard when people are coming at him, and he clearly has shown through the years that he is not motivated by money. He's not going to be bought off by big pharma, whatever it is, right? Big tobacco, whatever that looks like, Monsanto, because he sued Monsanto. So it's not because he's trying to make money, which some might say pharmaceutical companies are driven by money. They're driven by other things too. But if there's a drug on the market that is approved, and then you find out, oh, it's really causing cancer.
Right.
Something's happening, and maybe a company will look the other way because they're making so much money until the lawsuits come at them till it's too much for them to financially bear, so they pull it. But there's money involved there. But what Bobby's doing, there's not money involved.
DRA, debt relief. All right, let's be honest. Credit card debt has gotten out of control. If you owe 10 grand or more, credit cards, personal loans, this one's for you. The folks at Debt Relief Advocates are rolling out a new program to actually help people dig out. That could be you. You could end up paying back only a fraction of what you owe. And no, this isn't bankruptcy. It's not some shitty consolidation loan. It's real debt relief. The kind credit card companies would rather you never found out about. They don't exactly love the idea of you finally getting free. So, if you're drowning in debt, it's time to take a look. Am I right, Dawson?
Head over to DRA.com. That's DRA.com. Find out what kind of relief you qualify for and start turning things around today. Again, DRA.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Yeah. These guys keep your car on the road so you don't end up stuck on the shoulder looking like a dope. Friendly, helpful service people who actually know their stuff, not just some kid who'd rather be on his phone. I go to O'Reilly. Well, there's a bunch of them around where I live. I've always gone to them. I went to them back when I was driving a truck, even my Isuzu Trooper. Now I get stuff for my race cars. Thousands of parts and accessories stocked in store or online, and you don't have to panic when the check engine light comes on because they can help. Need wiper blades swapped out, brake lights, whatever. They can help you. They're pros, or they can hook you up if you're not a DIY type with a place that can help you. Whether you're a gearhead or you don't know a lug nut from a donut, they will help you through it. No attitude, just real help. So you can stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit us online at O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. It's funny. Every once in a while I'll get a tweet or something going, I'm going on Fox to get paid to echo talking points. It's like, that's not how you make money in Hollywood, by going on Fox, who doesn't pay you. You make less money in Hollywood by going on Fox. So this thing, like, here's what I'm saying. At least you know my opinions are my opinions, because I'm not getting paid. I'm removing money from my account by saying whatever I said about COVID, it wasn't to get paid. I made less money saying the things I said. Now, you can still think I'm a dickhead and you can still think I'm incorrect, but my motivation was not to get paid.
Or to kill people or harm people?
Well, I did not say the things I was saying because I was trying to get money from anybody.
Right.
I said it because I believed it to be true.
That's how you're receiving information, and you're saying, wow, is anybody else seeing this? Because this is this is what's happening.
You are not trying, Bobby's not winning popularity contests and you are not the toast of Hollywood, because you then get thrown under the bus with him and attacked by the ladies of the View. But the bigger the question that I wanted to ask you is the aforementioned Larry David. Now, Larry is a very progressive guy and takes a strong stand on this stuff. Stories famously of him confronting Alan Dershowitz, at
the grocery store.
At the grocery store and stuff like that. So he's outspoken.
Yeah.
And Alan Dershowitz is getting attacked because he's associated with Trump, and Bobby's getting attacked because he's associated with Trump, and you're getting attacked because you're associated with someone who's associated with Trump. So it would stand to reason that Larry might have some thoughts about you and your association.
He probably does. I mean, that would be a question for Larry. We haven't talked about it. Recently.
Are you cordial with Larry?
Of course. I mean, I love Larry.
Oh, no, so I say, is he cordial with you?
I haven't seen Larry. I haven't seen him. I haven't talked to him since probably since the election.
And I know that there's a part that sort of, I don't know, disappoints me, like when Bobby's family comes out against him. It's like, please, Jesus Christ, ladies and certain gentlemen, like, really? Is this really what you have to do? You have to disavow and disassociate and all. It's like, can't other people have opinions?
Right.
They're not allowed to have thoughts or opinions that go against yours. And what's your batting average on your opinions, by the way? How often have you been right in the last decade? Should we COVID or Hunter Biden's laptop or Biden's in tip-top shape? Like, well, let's look at some of your opinions and see if we might poke some holes in some of those. But he doesn't judge you because of your opinions. Why do you have to judge him because of his opinions?
Yeah.
And by the way, his opinions is a earnest attempt to help.
Yes. Yeah.
Whether you agree or disagree with where he ends up, it's hard to disagree with the motivation, which is trying to help.
Right. well, I do talk about that in my book, Unscripted.
Thank you.
But I do talk about his family because I also was beyond disappointed when a handful, I mean, and he does have a very big family, and I mean, a lot of them are really great, supportive people. And then so a handful come out and, step up to the microphone and say, I'm here to tell you the Kennedys support President Biden. And it's like, why are you speaking for the whole family? There are 5 of you, 4 of you, however many. But I didn't get a group email saying, this person's going to speak for the Kennedy family. Are we all on board?
Right.
So it seemed like a self-appointed, I'm the voice of the family. And I thought that was, it made me angry.
Well, also, who are you? Like, why does everyone have to make a proclamation? You know what I mean? You do one thing, he does another, she does something else. Do you have to run to a camera and announce everything all the time? In a weird way, I feel that way about famous people who die. Like, you don't know them, you didn't work with them, you weren't friends. Like, you don't need to make a proclamation. I mean, I'm not angry at you for saying whatever it is you're saying, but things can happen without you rushing to finding a camera and making a proclamation.
Yeah.
And that's, you can have your own discussions and your own private matters and your own family members.
You can talk about, that person sucks or whatever, or that, but yes, especially, that feels especially true here, I think.
In Los Angeles or Hollywood,
world. Yeah.
So then the question is, here's the analogy that I painted, but you tell me. I said, where you get pummeled is sort of in the middle, where you're trying to kind of keep everyone happy, sort of thing, which is to say, I would say, you either want to be on the beach or you want to be out past the breakers. But when you're sort of in the middle, you just get pummeled by everything, Yeah. And I kind of realized that in Hollywood, there's no kind of making good with Hollywood going, listen, my husband's this and Trump appointed him that, but I'm not that. I'm one, and we can, they're shunners. They just shun.
Yeah.
They just shun. And you're trying to get re-entry into a club that is never going to accept you again, and they're shunning. So they're not going to make nice, and you're not coming back. In a weird way, you're better off just going to Mar-a-Lago and having a drink and going, well, fuck these idiots. I'll just go over here and hang out with these guys.
Yeah.
Which sounded sort of unthinkable a number of years ago. But the more you think about it, you go, well, look, if they don't want me,
what
am I just sort of sitting in the middle for? Why don't I go play a round of golf with Trump?
Right. But here's the thing, too. The idea of being shunned, it's like there are a few, it's sort of like a few of Bobby's siblings who stepped up to the microphone and said, that's right. Here's how the Kennedys feel. Well, I feel like that is true in this business. I feel like there are a few people that, have that feeling, or you're never going to work in this town again. And the truth is, I am working, and I have a lot of people that reach out to me that I have worked with before, and people that I didn't even know that are in the business that want to work with me. So, but they're not the loud ones. They're not political. They're not concerned about it. But there are people that are very concerned about politics and how it will look to people if they are friends with me.
which is sad because they shouldn't feel that way about Bobby, but they should not feel that way at all about you because you're basically along for the ride.
They can't help it. I don't know. There's something about it that they can't help.
It's a kind of an immaturity mixed in with a little bit of cruelty, which I don't respect at all. I did respect Bobby when he was on, I think CNN or something, and they were trying to frame him for some sort of Nazi reference about satellites and whatever. And the anchor at CNN went, "Your own wife says she doesn't agree with her something." And he just went, "Well, she's wrong." Which I was like, finally, somebody's fucking stepped up.
Because he's like, I wasn't saying that about that. And I said, well, what exactly were you saying? And he said, I was talking about 5G. I was talking about surveillance. So what you're mad at me for, I didn't even say. And it's like, okay. Well, a lot of people are mad at you for the thing that you weren't saying. So I'm representing that group.
Maybe I'm old-fashioned here, but I believe you're allowed to. You don't have to apologize for shit other people are getting wrong. Like, people will be like, just apologize. And it's like, no, because you're editing the tape and you're turning this into something that wasn't. And when you look at the full tape, he's making a good point that, and also you're allowed to make Holocaust or Hitler or Nazi Germany references as long as you're not endorsing their behavior.
Yeah.
Or Anne Frank or whatever he was. But he was basically saying the eye in the sky is at the point where no one's going to be free anymore.
Yeah.
And was likening it to even in Nazi Germany. You had a chance to, escape and get to a neighboring country where you could survive with a new identity or something. You're not going to have that in today's technology, in today's world. And of course, CNN pounced.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know if they're into accuracy or what they're doing over there. It seems detrimental to be. It seems weird to be a news outlet and to constantly fool yourself into being wrong about stuff constantly would seem to fly in the face of being a news outlet. And if you have to doctor footage and whack it together so it follows your theme, that again kind of flies in the face of being a news outlet, but that's what they do.
Yeah, I mean, and there are a lot of politicians that are quick to not only make a comparison, right, but to call somebody Hitler.
Right.
Just to outright say this person, which is, you're clearly just trying to get people angry, excited, or to turn on each other, or it's not helpful. It's not, but they do it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm never going to like it.
No.
I don't like it. And yeah, there are times when, when I get mad at Bobby because, like in that case, and I just feel like, why would you even say something that could be misconstrued? And he's like, what am I supposed to never say anything? So sometimes we have these arguments.
But also, I feel like that, I don't know, that was 3 years ago or something, and you were trying to kind of straddle some sort of posture, some sort of Hollywood versus Trumpian Washington. Like, I think it just felt to me like you were trying to go, look, I got to work with these people. I live in this town. Could you please reel it in? I'm trying to walk a very fine line here.
Yeah, that's accurate. Because I was working,
right,
and I was, I was doing something that I had worked my entire life to do. So all of the decisions I had made in my life had led to, what I was doing. I was acting, which is also, to get an acting job is against all odds, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think I was I was like, well, it's too loud coming at me.
Right.
It's too much. So, and it was very, it was a life change because there was not a gradual, I'm going to run for mayor, 20 years ago, and then you move up to governor, and then there was no, it just seemed like a big, huge life shift all at once. So yeah, I was trying to navigate.
Yeah.
I mean, I still am trying to navigate.
Yeah, I know, but I think you probably made your peace a little more because I think there's a realization, and maybe this is just becoming cathartic, but there's a part where you go, look, if people just understood who Bobby is or who I am, or like there's a part at the beginning where you go, no, I'm not racist. I'm not a racist. I'm not a Nazi. You know, you try to there's a part where you try to talk people out of it. Like you don't, no, I'm a dad. I love my kids. I love this. And then at some point you go, oh, these assholes are batshit crazy, so fuck them. And then you just go, fuck it, I'll just go do what I want to do.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was...
Because you can't really satisfy them. But you don't know that at the beginning. You think, oh, they're reasonable. They love this country. They love their family. I love this country. I love my family. We love the Dodgers. Couldn't we just figure this out?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
That's not on the menu for them. But you thought it was.
I did think it was.
And they present it that way.
They do.
That's
the other
problem.
Thing. It's like we love everybody. I see you for who you are.
Right.
You don't, don't change.
Right.
I love people the way they are. But one of the things that, I think about, because when Bobby was going through his Senate hearing to become Secretary of HHS, I mean, I remember, those senators coming at him saying, you're not a doctor.
Right.
Why should we listen to you? You're not a doctor. And I thought, oh, well, yeah, he's not a doctor. And then the more I, learned that only 3 have been doctors, that almost all of them are not doctors, and that there have been 0 Democratic secretaries that were doctors, 0. So all of the Democratic presidents never appointed a doctor.
Right.
But that's what they were yelling at Bobby about. So at the beginning, I'm seeing senators yelling at him for not being a doctor. And then, when I learned more, I learned, of course, he doesn't need to be a medical doctor. That's not his job. And then, but it's just like CNN, right? Doesn't matter. If they keep saying he's not a doctor, then it sounds like, oh my God, he's not a doctor. How did this happen? It's like, that's how it's always been. But that's the narrative that you want people to be mad about him for not being a doctor, which is strange. But that's the message that you're getting out. So you're right. Like the people that are mad about Bobby being Secretary of HHS because he's not a doctor, you would think you could say, oh, it's actually, that's the usual. It's usually not a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And they would say, oh, I didn't realize that. I didn't really know anything about secretaries of HHS until this year.
Yeah, they didn't know anything about ivermectin, or they didn't know anything about anything until they all became experts.
But nobody
overnight.
says that. Nobody listens and says, oh, so then what exactly? I thought we were supposed to be getting medical advice from the secretary, even though Bobby said, I'm not a doctor. I have a lot of doctors in HHS that you should listen to, and here's one. And they step up to the podium and they say, here's what we found. This is what we recommend. But there's no, so I think it was a gradual lesson for me to learn. Like, oh, I don't need to try to convince people. People have made up their mind, and it's not my place to try to move them off of who they think Bobby is, what they think his intentions are. But it's nice that now he has a track record at HHS for getting really amazing things done. Taking out the petroleum-based food dye and taking the lead and arsenic out of baby formula, which you think that people in this town would be happy about, but.
Well, here's what I suspect. And actually, Dawson, you can probably find that View clip where Whoopi yells, "He's not a doctor." I think when you were on The View a few weeks ago, because they brought the doctor thing reminded me of her yelling, "The Dr. Fauci's a doctor." Yeah, who fucked up COVID and got everything wrong. Or he's probably lying. I don't know. Either way, he's a doctor, but he lied and got everything wrong about COVID. But okay, he's a doctor. Now, so here's the thing. I went to junior college and got put on academic probation. I had a much higher batting average vis-a-vis COVID than Fauci did in terms of my prognostications and what I said would work and what wouldn't work and what we should do and what not do. So nobody's further away from a doctor than me, but yeah, you probably should have listened to me during COVID. But he's a doctor, but he got everything wrong, but he was probably lying, to be fair to him. Now, the ladies from The View trotted that one out there, but here's my thought, and I'm curious what your thought is. They don't really believe what they're saying, so they don't really care that much, and that's why they just say whatever, and then they move on to whatever, and then you go, "You were so concerned about this, and now he fixed this. How come you're not thanking us?" Okay?
Right.
The answer is because we didn't give a shit in the first place. We're just talking. We're complaining about everything. But when we care, you care about the kids, you care about the environment, you care about, and he did this for the kids, and he did this for the environment, so where's our fruit basket? And they're like, "Oh, yeah, we don't even know what we said. We don't even mean any of that." They just talk and talk and talk. So it's not like, you'll never break through to them or they'll never fully understand. They don't care in the first place, which is the weird part. So you have to have the understanding that they don't know and they don't care. And so they'll talk about anything with wild passion, by the way, and then 2 days later be right on to the next thing that they don't care about. But here's you with Whoopi chiming in as he's a doctor.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now,
all right.
I am. This is not your fight, really, to be fighting. Yeah. This is your husband's fight.
Thank you for acknowledging that. But go ahead. But hear what we're talking about.
I do want to say, he's not a doctor and he's not a professional.
Yes.
And oftentimes
professional what?
when he's talking,
Professional. Hold on a second.
Healthcare.
What do you mean not a professional?
He is getting paid to do a job, so that is
technically.
That's
he's
the
a professional.
meaning of a profession, right?
You guys, he gets paid. We don't have to live off your residuals, right?
He is getting paid to do a job. Okay, so he is a professional.
He is a professional, but he's not. Okay.
Times when he's speaking,
they clap.
He is speaking not with the best information that we can get because,
All right, hold on. You pause it there. Listen. Everybody is not anything. That's what the heads,
right.
Guys who do commercial building don't hang drywall all day. They subcontract good drywall subcontractors and HVAC guys and tile guys. And part of what they're good at is getting a really good crew around them of people who do this.
Who are great at that specific
By the way,
thing
the tile guy's not an HVAC guy and he's not a drywall guy. You get the whole group together.
Yeah.
Then you get experts. Then you listen to them. Then you weigh in. And after a number of years, you sort of de facto become an expert a little bit in all these different fields.
Yeah, it would be weird if the secretary of HHS knew and did all of those things, knew how to approve drugs, had done that, knows exactly what to look for, infectious disease, has done that. If somebody was a number one top of their field in all of those categories, they wouldn't. I don't know how you could be an expert if
you like Pete Buttigieg was the transportation secretary, but he wasn't an air traffic controller.
Yeah.
And he wasn't a commercial airline pilot.
Yeah.
He's an idiot. But the point is you put people in charge of stuff, but they're not
who are experts at what they do.
Yeah, but part of it is being an organizer almost. It's like getting really good subs to work with you who you trust, you have a relationship with, who have a high batting average, and then listening to their counsel. Right. All right, rewind it like 10 seconds because it's super insulting.
With the best information that we can get because, we could do a lot better with health stuff. And there's a lot of stuff he can do. And some of the things he's suggested take it out of the hands of my doctor and me.
All right, pause it for a second. Do you get the feeling that the other women from The View are thinking, what the fuck's this bitch talking about when she talks? Because she struggles mightily. Like she has a mighty struggle with verbiage. Like you can see her and almost smell her thinking, but she has difficulty articulating what she's saying, but she has a feeling, but everyone else has to just be sitting there going, oh, Jesus Christ, whoopies.
I don't know.
Go to the top. Let's just listen to her one more time. Because listen to her struggle.
She's very passionate, though.
I know she's passionate.
She's got something very important to say.
Important, but nothing. But it's nothing. But it's nothing.
Cheryl?
Yeah, go ahead.
Now,
all right.
I am... This is not your fight, really, to be fighting. Yeah. This is your husband's fight.
Thank you for acknowledging that. But go ahead. But hear what we're talking about.
I do want to say, he's not a doctor and he's not a professional.
Yes.
And oftentimes when he's talking, he is speaking not with the best information that we can get because, we could do a lot better with health stuff. And there's a lot of stuff he can do. And some of the things he's suggested take it out of the hands of my doctor and me and my OBGYN and me. And I wonder,
she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about.
Does it give you pause and are you able to say, that might not actually be so because I've got my experience and I've lived with this and I'm still here. So are you able to have those conversations with her?
I am able to have those conversations. And just to be clear...
I have no idea what she said. But I don't think she does. I mean, to be fair to her, she doesn't know. She doesn't know what she's saying, which is weird because she does a talk show. But like, if I just saw this for the first time, I'd go, would you get this poor lady off camera? She's obviously doing something with craft service, but this is really uncomfortable pushing her in front of the camera this way. She's not trained to do this. Well, she's a dope, or she's ideological, or she can't think straight, or she's addled, or whatever she is. She's an idiot. And she doesn't articulate herself, and only the unemployable audience members would ever clap for someone saying something as nonsensical as she. But it wasn't this one. It was the clip.
But can we hear the response?
Let's hear it.
Because that's important. No, because if anybody's listening that didn't see it.
Yeah, it's more fun for me to make fun of her.
I am able to have those conversations. And just to be clear, 90% of secretaries of HHS have not been doctors.
But they've had a science background.
There have been 3.
Yeah.
No, to be honest, one of Obama's
science background. Look at her look.
Secretaries of HHS was an economist.
But the majority of them that haven't had medical backgrounds have had a science background.
Wait, don't do anything else. Don't say anything else yet.
Because
we have to take a break.
From what? I don't know what that was. Was there information being exchanged?
It was so crazy.
She's well, Whoopi, I just look at as she's a poor dear. She's addled. She doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. She is. She's a dope. I mean, she is a dope. She's a dope. We've all been on stage at the Groundlings. We have to do improv with someone who's dumb and slow, and you're like, oh no. She's not a smart person. Okay. Or maybe she's a smart person, but when she talks, she doesn't dissuade anyone from thinking she isn't a dumb person. So, but maybe she has private thoughts that are really articulate and interesting, but she doesn't say them into a microphone. So I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. But it was really the clip where I think, what's her name was, Sunny Hostin was going at you, and then Whoopi yelled doctor, like from across the thing. And Sunny, like for an attorney, should be a little better in her thinking process. But maybe I'm just here to be disappointed by adults because I just thought they would do smarter than this. But Sunny was getting into you about she was more doctor stuff or more putting kind of words is saying he wasn't qualified to do this, and it's just
And that they all had science backgrounds. Oh yeah, that Bobby was the least qualified person,
Right.
and I said, more than an economist.
right.
So I mean, when you look at the list of and a lot of them have just been career politicians.
Yeah,
But nobody secretaries. But nobody. I don't remember anybody coming out on The View and saying, "I can't believe there's a governor that is now the secretary of HHS." I don't think it ever bothered anybody. That an
they didn't care.
economist was the secretary.
But they don't care about this either. They're just fighting with Trump. But I would tell people all the time, I'm a pretty much a master carpenter, but I never read a book. I just went to work. I just worked. You work. You go on a job site, you work all day, and then you become a carpenter at some point. You
Experience.
sort of show up.
You learn
work.
the job.
Yeah, you learn.
Yeah.
Like you learn. And I don't know, you don't want a guy who has a degree in building or a master's in building or studied all day. You want on the job
Somebody who's
training.
done it.
And obviously Bobby's been there and done that, like in terms of on the job training with these people for 30 some odd years.
Yeah.
That's what he does. I would much rather have that than someone who's like fresh from Princeton with a whatever degree.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying too on The View. I was saying that Bobby has a lot of experience in the health world, and suing Monsanto because they didn't inform people that Roundup causes cancer. So
Right.
Bobby, spent years studying, learning about Monsanto and about the chemicals that go into Roundup. And just like Exxon and oil spills, it's complicated, and you also have to learn what those environmental toxins are doing to someone's health, because that's why they're suing. So yeah, he has a lot of that experience. So like you're saying, would you rather have an economist who's great with numbers, or the guy who's been spending decades studying the science of what environmental toxins are doing to people's health?
Well, I'll tell you, I'll do you one better. I'll take a sharecropper from the 1800s with a fourth grade education who just goes, "We never had anybody who had Down syndrome back in the day, and now everyone's got Down syndrome and everyone's allergic to peanuts. So what in tarnation's going on around here?
Let's take a look at
I want to know what's going on."
Yeah.
I will take that guy.
Yeah.
He
Somebody
doesn't
who's
have to have a
asking
master's
questions.
degree. He's just looking around going, why has everybody got this syndrome and no one ever had this syndrome?
Right.
How come everybody's allergic to peanuts now? No one I went to junior high with was allergic to peanuts. And that wasn't that long ago. So what's happened? What's going on?
Right.
And shouldn't we look into it?
Why is that? Why do people get so angry at somebody asking that question?
Well, what they cannot admit is they just hate Trump, and the person who is asking that question is seen shaking hands with Trump in a photo op, and so they can't parse that out. And they're really not. I think they're not being honest with themselves. Like ultimately, it's sort of like when your girlfriend or boyfriend leaves and then they end up with somebody else, and the person is nice and attractive and accomplished, and you go, "Look at her. I think she's fat. Do you think she's fat?"
Yeah.
It's like, she's
I
not
hate
fat.
her.
She's so dumb. Oh, she's not dumb. She runs Nabisco. She's not dumb. She's fat and she's dumb. It's like, okay, this is you. This is you. Just go.
You're never gonna
I'm
like them.
hurt. I feel bad. I feel ashamed that he left me, and now he's with someone who seems to be better than I was. And I can't just be a bigger man and go, "I wish them good luck."
Yeah.
I have to snipe and attack, and all of a sudden we're back on the schoolyard, and we're in the 7th grade, and that's really where their mentality is.
Yeah.
And they can't be intellectually honest enough just with themselves to go, "Look, I have a blind rage for Trump. Trump said he wants to appoint this person, or he likes that guy, or he wants to make the border stout and stop illegal immigration. And for some reason, we have to attack everything he said versus be intellectually honest and just parse out the stuff you like and the stuff you don't like.
Right.
So you
because sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, what you should say is you go, Trump, he likes Pete Hegseth. And you should go, fuck that guy, the minister of war. Get the fuck out of here with his tattoos. I hate that guy. And then they go, but we want Bobby Jr. And you should go, yeah, okay, he's not a bad guy. He's a good guy. He's done some stuff. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He loves the environment. He's an outdoorsman. He likes kids.
Yeah.
All right,
he likes clean water.
He likes clean water. Okay, leave that guy alone.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
No, they can't.
They can't. And that's the part that makes him intellectually dishonest.
Yeah, because it's even.
And I like Pete Hegseth. But the whole point is I get it. They can't do it.
They can't separate, no.
Right.
It's even like, some of the accomplishments that Bobby has made with the president about favored nation drug prices.
Right.
So you would think that everybody in this country would be cheering in the streets saying, wow, we no longer are going to pay 1,000 times more for a drug that they're getting in Europe.
Right.
We're not doing it anymore. You would think, even if you hated Trump, you would be like, I mean, I hate Trump, but that's pretty great because I don't really want to pay $2,000 for my eczema cream or whatever it is. But they don't. Doesn't show up on their radar. Cannot give credit. I mean, listen, when the hostages were released, I kept calling my sister that day because the night before I couldn't sleep because I thought, oh, I really hope this goes well, and I really hope that both sides release the hostages. And I thought that I was so anxious about it. I could barely sleep. I woke up. I saw that they were being released. But I didn't see any, in my feed, I didn't see any celebrating. Or I called my sister. I said, am I crazy? Or did both sides just release all of the hostages? And she said, yeah, that is what happened. I said, isn't that what people have been, like, fighting for? Protesting and free the hostages. And it's been 2 years of that. And then when it happened, that's when I felt like, wow. I mean, true colors. You see people's true colors because was it not really about the hostages being released and the lives that now they get to go back to their families or whatever that looks like? They're not being held captive anymore. And I really thought that's what people were, what they really wanted.
Yeah. Well, what I've discovered is there's kind of a grievance class, and what they want is grievance. So they say we want this, or we want equality, we want gay rights, or we want the hostages freed, or whatever it is. And then it happens, and you go, "Oh, good, now you're happy, right?" And they go,
so thrilled.
"Nope, still pissed." And it's like
the whole day I was so shocked.
Yeah, because you're approaching it from a logical standpoint, which is this is what they want. But if you want grievance, then it makes sense. And what you have to realize is there's no appeasing, and they want grievance. And it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But that's where we're living. And speaking of living, are you in D.C. full time? Or are you out here?
I mean, I'm in D.C. a lot. I come out here if I have something to work on or, I'll come out here for a week every now and then. But so I have a place out here, and I have definitely a place in D.C. a lot.
Are you writing a lot?
Writing? Well, I
mean, you wrote a book.
I honestly just finished this.
Are you writing TV stuff? I guess
no, but I'm producing a film.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
I know, and you're going to really like it. I can't tell you what it's about on air because we haven't announced it yet, but it's really, it's going to be really fun. It's really a cool.
Comedy.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Yes. And as a producer.
Yes.
And so you came across the material?
I'm actually working with my ex-husband, Paul Young. Hey, Paul. Who had this material, and he said, "Do you want to produce this with me?" And I read the script, and I loved it. And then we started putting all these pieces together that are like huge pieces, a huge. This thing had to happen for this thing to happen, and it's all happening, and it's pretty great.
How's Bobby with you working with your ex-husband?
Bobby loves Paul.
Oh, really?
They've been really good friends since the beginning. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I mean, Paul's a great guy. Bobby's a great guy. And Bobby, when I started dating Bobby, it was just second nature. This is my ex-husband, and we do a lot of stuff together. And he's like, great. Let's all have Thanksgiving. Let's all have. One time when we were dating, Bobby and I were going to take our kids skiing for spring break, and I got a pilot. And I said, you guys, I don't know how to tell you this, but this isn't going to be able to happen because I have to work. And Paul and Bobby said, that's fine. We'll take the kids. So it's Bobby and Paul and the kids on spring break.
So you and Paul had a very amicable divorce?
Yeah, we did.
And it was just kind of both your decisions?
Yeah, I mean, it was clear that it wasn't working. It wasn't working. It was just, it was not, it got to a place where it's like, okay, this isn't working. And before it got...
But it's interesting because you like working together.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people, when they go, it's not working, meaning I just can't talk to this person. We can't agree on anything, or we argue over everything. But business, film and stuff, there's lots of opportunities for disagreements.
Well, yeah, Paul and I can disagree.
You guys both arrived at a point... How long were you married?
7 years.
7 years. And it was just... Both arrived at this space, at this place where he went, it's not really working.
I mean, basically, we realized at some point, like, there's a problem. And then we're trying to fix it. And then it got to a point where it's like, this isn't working. And we actually took our wedding rings off at the same time. Without
announcing it to one another?
No, well, we filed for divorce, and we were still living together until we figured out what to do with the house and all that. But neither one of us wanted to take our ring off because we didn't want to hurt the other person's feelings. Plus, if you take your ring off, then you're announcing to the world, I'm not married anymore. So, we talked about it, and I said, yeah, I didn't want to take mine off. I don't want to hurt your feelings. He said, I feel the same way. So we took our rings off at the same time.
Wow, you had like a ceremony.
Yeah.
Like a conscious decoupling of ringing.
We did.
California.
I know it was. And Paul said, he said, don't take this the wrong way, but there's no one in the world I'd rather have as my ex-wife than you.
Wow.
I said, that's so nice.
This is very different. You've defied the odds.
Yeah, because we didn't let it get to a place where you start calling names, or it gets to that point where it's so bad where you're like, I never want to see your face again. And I understand how that could happen, but that was not the case with us.
It's interesting because I can't speak for him, but you seem real level-headed, and he seems sort of responsible, and it's like you're at this place where you can intellectualize going, hey, I don't think this is going to work. Yeah. But also just by virtue of the fact that you guys arrived at that at the same place at the same time sort of means like, well, why? Why is it insurmountable? You're both talking, you're both seem really rational and sort of level-headed, and what would be the thing that would not let it work? Like some people go, well, she's this religion and I'm that religion, so could just never really, we can't get over this obstacle. But that didn't seem like that was the case for you guys.
No, that wasn't the case for us. I mean, we have fundamentally, we're kind of different. And this is back, this was a long time ago, but he's sort of driven by, what's the word? Like if something makes him mad or he's driven by that. Mm-hmm. Whereas I'm driven by happiness.
Sounds like what you'd say in the counseling. He's driven by evil, and I'm driven by happiness.
Well, because
you decide who's got the problem here, counselor.
No, because if something
every woman I know thinks she's driven by happiness, and I'm driven by evil.
Well, if something would make him...
He's like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan would have somebody say something to him, like a nothing burger, and he'd be like, I'm going to put up 50 the next time I see it. Like, he'd make it his own thing. It motivated him.
Yeah.
It drove him.
Yeah.
Even though the thing wasn't really a thing.
Right. So that was who... I think Paul has changed a lot. But even, he negotiates a lot of contracts and stuff, and he's like, hardball. And I'm always like, just let's call it. I'm fine with that.
So he's more intense.
He's more intense.
And you're more laid back.
Yes. I don't think and at the time, it's not what we really appreciated about each other. It's like, I do not need to see, you don't have to tell me sunny side up, okay? Because I'm in this, I'm in this fight. It's like, well, but there's also this other side. It's like, so we would do that to each other where it's like, maybe you're not taking this seriously enough. It's like, well, I am, but this is how I do it. I hate the way you're doing it. So, after a little while of that, you're like, oh, I think we're better off friends.
Well, you arrived at it.
Yeah.
Nobody's has real hard feelings.
Yeah.
He's moved on, perhaps?
Yes, he got married.
You're married. He's married.
Yeah.
Okay. And now you can work together.
Yeah. We've been working together through it all. Yeah. We worked together while we were married and then even after we were married.
And Bobby can go skiing with him. God knows what they're talking about.
God knows.
It's not good. It can't be flattering. It just can't. But that's okay.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. I got to take a sip.
The book is called Unscripted, Cheryl Hines. A memoir. It's available November 11th.
You can pre-order now.
Oh, and you can pre-order.
Yeah.
Yes, pre-order it now. I understand that world. You pre-order it. It's great for when the New York Times makes their list. And at least back in the day, if you pre-ordered it, like on Amazon, it would show up the day the book came out.
I feel like that's what's happening.
That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I told my mom.
Yeah. Cheryl, come back anytime.
Thank you.
Always great catching up.
I love talking to you.
With you. Give my love to Bobby. I'm such a fan. And
I will.
I love the whole stiff upper lip part of it. No, you know what I like? Here's what I like about Bobby, and I like it about anybody. He was having, he's in front of Congress, and they're doing all their shit they always do. And at some point, he's talking, and I'll screw it up a little, but he's talking to like some black senator, and he goes, we found out with young black infants, they don't need this vaccine because they don't seem to get this disease, so we're not going to inoculate them. And then the black senator's like, well, that sounds pretty racist to me, whatever. And he's like, no, this is what we know. And they keep trying to do this racist thing. And he's like, no, I'm saying don't get vaccinated because you don't need it if you're African-American because you don't have this enzyme or whatever. Right. And he didn't go like, oh, okay, sorry. Like he was just like, I'm just saying what this is. Yes. And you can interpret it any way you want. And I know you're going to interpret it this way, but I don't care because that's what the facts is.
Yes, that is definitely him.
And I just think we need more of that.
Yeah.
So tell him more.
I will.
Thanks. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with the news right after this. Simply Safe. All right, listen up. Ever worried about the safety of your home? Well, now's the time to check out Simply Safe this year. They're giving my listeners early access to their Black Friday sale, 60% off any new system. That's their biggest deal of the year. Yep. You're not going to beat it all year, so let's do it now. Here's what makes Simply Safe different. It's real security because it can actually stop crime before it starts. That's the point. Most systems just alert you after someone's already inside. By then, it's too late. Simply Safe has live, trained agents who can see what's going on outside of your home and actually talk to the intruder before they intrude, telling them they're on camera and the cops are on their way. They call it Active Guard Outdoor Protection, and it works. I've used Simply Safe for years. We all use it here. They've been a longtime sponsor of this show. I trust them to protect my family, my property. It's easy to set up, no contracts. You can check everything right from your phone. Great technology, great people. It's Simply Safe, right, Dawson?
You can try it risk-free for 60 days with a money-back guarantee, so don't wait. Head to simplysafe.com/Adam and get 60% off any new system. That's simplysafe.com/Adam.
This October, Fear is free on Pluto TV with horror movie collections from Paranormal Activity, The Ring,
You will die in 7 days.
Scream, and From Dusk Till Dawn.
This is my kind of place.
And don't miss the man-made nightmares in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein or the world-ending chaos in 28 Days Later.
Something in the blood.
All the scares, all for free. Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
All right, Dawson's got news. What do you got?
Well, big article in the LA Times recently pointing some dangerous fingers at the Los Angeles fire chiefs. The Palisades fire, it appears, was reignited from the earlier fire, the Lackland fire, on the morning of January 2nd, the day after the 8-acre blaze was declared contained, rather than stay and make sure there were no hidden embers that could spark a new fire. The battalion chief ordered them to roll up their hoses and pull out of the area.
It is an interesting, first off, I must say, as a longtime Los Angelino, when you hear the LA Times actually doing their job, it's weird.
Something's weird.
But by the way, that's a bad sign. Like if you have a wife or roommate or something, and we've all had this, and you like come home one day and they're cleaning, and you just go, what are you doing? You're happy they're cleaning, but that thought you have, which is, what the fuck? Since when do you clean? You never clean. That's a bad sign.
What's going on here?
It's a bad sign because it means you never fucking do anything, but now you're doing something. So when the LA Times does something that actually flies in the face of LA City Council or Karen Bass or Gavin Newsom or something, it's shocking and surprising. Now, that's their job. Their job is to do this stuff, but they've been so corrupted over the last decade plus that we don't expect them to do it.
Right.
But it is a weird reaction when you see CNN sort of do their job a little once in a while, or LA Times do their job once in a while. You go, what are they doing? So good that they're doing it. It does beg a few questions, which is the guy who set the fire, who's like a crazy Uber driver guy. And now in his defense, well, not in his defense, but I don't know, 12 or 13 people died. You know, like elderly folk couldn't get out of their house or whatever. But there's a body count. There's also $10 billion worth of damage done.
Thousands of structures.
Right. And it's all going to land on the lap of the Uber guy, right? Now, if I'm defending the Uber guy, I'm going, yeah, this guy's an asshole and he's nuts and he's an arsonist and he's disgruntled and he's an Uber driver and whatever else. But he set a small fire, and you guys, the professionals, showed up and did not put the fire out and then left. And then I have these texts from these firemen saying, I don't think we should leave. I think the fire may still be smoldering under there. And then we have one from the battalion chief saying, come back, don't worry about it. So is my guy responsible for the deaths that came after your negligence?
There's some shared culpability here, obviously, right?
Yeah, he started the fire.
Yeah.
and then you guys didn't put the fire out professionally or properly, and then a bunch of people died. So how are we going to break this one up? But either way, it's an issue we have here with competence. We don't have a lot of competence in Los Angeles. We have an incompetent mayor. We have an incompetent governor in California. And then the city council women, those cows are wildly incompetent as well. But it was fine because we just ran. We just ran as a city. Our city, Los Angeles, is sort of like buying a Toyota Camry brand new and giving it to your Dumbo teenage daughter who just drives. She doesn't change oil, doesn't check, doesn't rotate tires, doesn't inflate anything, doesn't top off fluids, doesn't anything. That Toyota Camry will go for 120,000 miles on the same oil it left the dealership with, and without ever doing all the scheduled maintenance and all the stuff. The check engine light's been on for 32,000 miles. You don't even pull over. It will, but eventually it'll start breaking. Even that. Because we're sort of in LA, we just run ourselves.
We're at the breaking point.
But now we're the Camry with the dumb teenage girl driver who never maintained it, and shit is starting to break.
Right.
That's where we're at.
Well, there are 3 firefighters whose names won't be released because, they don't want to be hurt, whatever.
Retaliated against?
Retaliated against. So they're not releasing their names. But the interim police chief has said in a statement, don't get...
police chief?
The fire chief. The interim fire chief.
That's why I'm here, Dawson.
Chief Ronnie Villanueva said in a statement that the Palisades Inferno was not due to failed suppression of the Lockman blaze. Instead, he said it was the result of an undetectable holdover fire that lived deep within the roots. Now, semantics are
what does that mean? What's a holdover fire?
It's another way of saying they didn't put it out. But holdover sounds better and releases them from some responsibility, they think.
Yeah. But not climate change, Gavin Newsom. I wanted to blame everything on climate change. My thing is my whole thing with the climate change retardation is all right, there is climate change. It's fine. There's more wind, or it's hotter, there's more fuel, or there are higher seas, or whatever. Storm season lasts longer. Whatever that thing is, now go do something about it. I don't know what you want me to say. Okay, climate change. Okay, climate change. Good, clear the brush. Okay,
clear
climate
the brush.
change.
Make sure
all right, fill the reservoir.
Yeah.
Hire more firemen.
Hey.
Do more alerts. Dispatch more units. Like whatever. Okay. Now let's do something about it. The fact, by the way, the fact that you're using climate change as an excuse says to me you're feckless and you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Because if it is climate change, again, climate change in New Orleans. All right, seawalls. Okay, that's your job. I mean, we blame the Army Corps of Engineers, right? Spike Lee thought they dynamited the levees, which it shows. A, he's a dope, but B, he just hates white people essentially. But he thought the Army Corps of Engineers blew up the levees.
So everyone who was asked for comment, everyone who was in a position of authority has not returned comment.
Well, this is the beauty of the transparency of these people, which is zero transparency.
Yeah,
like, hey, how much is the new Capitol in Sacramento? It's $1.3 billion. It's overrun by $500 million. How about a little transparency there? Now, we sign non-disclosure agreements. We're not going to do that.
Yeah.
I do love the fact that the truth is for all, the truth to power people, the transparency people will never be transparent about it. I don't know. Where's the mayor? How about a presser? Let's hear it. Get up there on the podium and take questions, give answers. It's the biggest story of the last 20 years. How about a press conference? How about we discuss this?
Well, there's got to be some kind of email chain. There has got to be communication between these people, because there's no way a battalion chief did not listen to his firefighters on the ground who said, it's really a bad idea to leave Nope, get out of there, roll up your hoses, leave, we're done. That doesn't make any sense. So if the LA Times is really doing their job, we should hopefully find out sometime who gave this order. I don't know if we'll ever find out why, but there's certainly a very sinister angle to it, isn't there?
Well, it's a lot of circle the wagons and protect their own kind of thing. And it's like, hey, man, lots of structures lost, lots of lives lost. So how about some answers?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I
like I
just
said,
wanna move
look,
on.
I interviewed Rick Caruso, who could have been mayor. He just said, I had my people in place 3 days before the fire.
Right.
We knew the winds were coming.
Right.
We put the fire retardant material on the roof 2 days before, and everything was safe. I was like, well, all right, that's what a guy does who's competent.
Yep.
Karen Bass goes to Ghana.
Yeah.
But he can't say anything because it's a hate crime. All right, what else you got?
Kim Kardashian is now jumping on board saying that the moon landing never happened. I believe we have some video of this from her TV show. She said the 69 moon landing was faked.
I'm sending you, so far, 1 million interviews with both Buzz Aldrin and the other one.
Do it.
The other one, Neil Armstrong.
What was the scariest moment? And he goes, there was no scary moment because it didn't happen. It could have been scary, but it wasn't because it didn't happen. So he's gotten old, and now he slurs on his thing. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. So I think it didn't happen.
I'm going to go on a massive deep dive is what's going to happen. Okay. I'm going to go on a serious
Into a
deep
bottle of vodka and
center
forget we ever had this conversation. That's tough. See, when Kim Kardashian tells you dumb shit, you have to listen because she's hot and she's a billionaire.
Yeah.
And she's Kim Kardashian. So you have to go, you can't go, get the fuck out of here, dumb shit. You have to go, okay. All right. Well, I know what I'll be doing this weekend. I'll be taking a deep dive into Buzz Aldrin. Yeah.
And the other guy. I love how she says Buzz Aldrin and the other guy. You mean the first guy to walk on the moon, Neil Armstrong, what you learned in first grade?
I would argue, here's my argument. I never thought of this argument, but I'm going with this argument. I've said all the time. You can kind of reverse engineer stuff, right? So, when there's a document, and the document says, hey, here's how we're going to break down the profits from Hunter Biden's take in Ukraine.
Right.
And you go 10% to Gary Wallbanger over here and 10% to Guy Newcomb over here. And then 10% to Hunter Biden. And then he's got 10% for the big guy.
Right.
Okay, that's what it says. And then we go, well, the big guy, who's the big guy? I'm sure the Los Angeles Times will figure out who the big guy is as soon as they're done with this whole fire investigation.
Sure.
Now, zero interest from any publication, New York Times, LA Times, doesn't matter. CNN, then no one wants to know who the big guy is. I'm curious who the big guy is. Now, the big guy...
Bob Alinsky said who the big guy is.
He's Joe Biden.
Yeah.
He's Joe Biden, but nobody wants to know the answer to that, including the FBI, CIA, nobody. Okay. So the big guy's Joe Biden. Now, somebody says, well, this document is just there to basically frame Joe Biden. It doesn't exist, or I can't prove it exists, or it doesn't really exist, or whatever it is. If you're there to frame Joe Biden, it says 10% for Joe Biden, or it says JB. It doesn't say the big guy. Why leave it open to interpretation? If you're going to create something that's going to frame somebody, if I'm trying to frame Mike Dawson, I go, and you know who likes 10-year-old girls? Not the big guy.
Not the big guy.
Mike Dawson.
Right.
Because I'm trying to fuck you up.
Right.
And I would say it if I was trying to frame you in an email or a paper. All right. So you would say it. Now, here's where I'm going. You're going, where are you going, Adam? I'll tell you where I'm going. Neil Armstrong says, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Correct.
He fucked that up. He would say it should be one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind. Now, because one small step for man is the same as mankind. unless you say for a man.
Correct.
So
that makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
If I was shooting this on a soundstage, like as depicted in Capricorn 1,
let's do it again.
The film with OJ.
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right, Neil, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's try it again. And this time, remember, mind the cue card guy over there.
Yeah.
It is one small step for a man.
Yes.
One giant leap for mankind. That's what it is. So just say it, and we're going again. And I'd ring the bell, and I'd tell the audience warm-up guy to clear out, and I'd go, we're going again, because I want to get it clean.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. Yeah. So that's how you know they didn't fake it.
You messed up that line. We're going to do this again. Look, I love the way you stepped on the fake moon, Earth, and everything. It's just that line. We just got to clean it up. Let's just do it again.
And bring in the golf club. Stroke of genius, pun intended. Nice job.
So anyway, the government says, Kardashian, you're an idiot. And yeah, we landed on the moon. I think they said 6 times, 5 times, 6 times.
You know, for me, as a faking landing on the moon, while I wouldn't be happy about it, it falls way underneath all the other shit our government just sort of wastes taxpayer money on. Sure. Like, I don't, it doesn't impact me directly. If you said, I'd much rather them handle the homeless crisis or something better and fake the moon, which the moon is fine. Also, it's kind of prudent if you fake the moon landing because it probably means you saved a few bucks.
Yeah, right.
I would think.
But speaking of the LA Times, I wonder when they're going to find out where all that money for homelessness went.
Never going to find that.
They're not going to do it.
No. TRA tax relief. Well, we've all seen those IRS commercials where they try to scare the hell out of you. They're coming for your house. They'll seize your bank account. Yeah, we get it. But here's the truth. Tax Relief Advocates is different. Whether you owe $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, they've got a real solution. Doesn't matter where you're sitting right now. Could be in the car, at work, chasing your kids around. Just go to TRA.com. You don't have to lose hope. These guys know the system. They could actually reduce or even wipe out what you owe. Over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google. A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. So, stop sweating it and start fixing it. Some pretty generous programs out there right now. So now is the time for a fresh start. Am I right, Dawson?
End the nightmare today. Visit TRA.com. That's TRA.com. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This October, Fear is free on Pluto TV with horror movie collections from Paranormal Activity, The Ring.
You will die in 7 days.
Scream. And From Dusk Till Dawn.
This is my kind of place.
And don't miss the man-made nightmares in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein or the world-ending chaos in 28 Days Later.
There's something in the blood.
All the scares, all for free. Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
All right, we got one more story here with Nicki Minaj. She sent her lefty fans into a meltdown after she praised Trump for addressing the persecution of Christians in Nigeria. And I don't know if you've seen some of these awful, awful videos, but Christians in Nigeria are just being eliminated, buried alive.
Yeah, I've seen some of it, and yes, the same people that are, the gays for Palestine crew and stuff like that, they don't give a fuck. No one cares. They don't. Listen to me. There is the grievance class. The grievance class has a grievance. The grievance class has a grievance, and they don't really care. And so you saying, well, now there's peace in Palestine. Aren't you happy? No, because it's called a grievance class. And then, what about what's going on in Africa and what they're doing? Like, yeah, those are black people. Yeah, your Black Lives Matter. Yeah. We're grievance people. We're not really solve the problem people, but we can't announce we're grievance people. Anyone who's had a wife, a roommate, a daughter, a son who's a grievance person, they don't announce they're grievance people. No one goes, I'm a fucking grievance person. I got a beef with everything. They just have a constant, ongoing, running beef with everything all the time. And then you go, I made you your favorite omelet. Why aren't you? You didn't. Where are the hash browns? They're grievance people. So all the people, all the BLM people or the Free Palestine people or the March on the Campus people or all the people that want everything freed up or whatever, whoever those assholes are, they're grievance people. So don't try to make sense out of them. They have a problem with this, and then other things they don't care about because, by the way, where would the grievance lead to if that was their issue? Like, where would they go with this? To Trump? To a white guy? To a white Republican? To a white Christian guy? No, these are Muslims. These are black Muslims. They don't have a grievance because they're the aggrieved. They're the people with the grievance. You understand? They're the underclass. They're the ones who are being taken advantage. They can't be doing things to other people. They're being discriminated against. So fucks up our whole grievance hierarchy so we can't say shit.
Right.
That's how it works.
Well, Trump had posted on Truth Social that Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria. The United States cannot stand by while such atrocities are happening. Minaj simply said, reading this made me feel a deep sense of gratitude. We live in a country where we can freely worship God. No group should ever be persecuted for practicing their religion. We don't have to share the same beliefs in order for us to respect each other. And then the part that got everybody mad was, thank you to the president and his team for taking this seriously. And people are very upset. Someone went as far as to say, sometimes her choices and the way she acts is just insane. Supporting Donald Trump is crazy.
Look, everybody, if somebody is going to say something sensible, you're allowed to agree with that person without necessarily voting for them or supporting them. And it shows your derangement. Like, we got a governor. Governor Newsom has a capital that we're building that's $1.3 billion. That's taxpayers' money that he's not transparent about, and they literally won't tell anyone where the money's going or how much it costs or when anything. And he's worried about the ballroom, which is $300 million, which is a quarter of the price, and will be, I'm sure, come in less than a quarter of the price because 1.3
paid for by donors.
So what do you care about? Well, the answer is you got Trump derangement syndrome, because if it was really about expenditures or building, then you would be much more focused on either your bullet train that's $25 billion and never going to be completed, or your capital that's over $1 billion and probably never going to be completed. You'd be worried about those things if it was really about fiscal responsibility and practicality, but you are not.
Nope.
You are worried about this, which means you have a syndrome, which also means I don't need to listen to you when you talk about these subjects because you are not a practical person, you're not a rational person, and I know what you're saying. It's basically when you talk when anyone who knows a chick who hates another chick, you can never talk to her about the other chick. Because they'll just go, she's fucking horrible, she's a bitch, she's dumb, whatever. And you go, well, how did she do? She made ambrosia salad for the party. How was it? Fucking puked. It's fucking putrid. And then you go, well, everyone seemed to eat it all. Yeah, well, they're stupid. That's why, because they don't know. Because it tasted like swill. It was horrible. I wouldn't let my dog eat. It's like, I guess I shouldn't talk to you about how her ambrosia salad was because you are fucked up and you have this derangement syndrome with this person. Women get it more than men, but weak guys get it too. So what I need to do is go talk to someone else at the party and find out how the ambrosia salad was, because I can't get it from you.
Right.
Now, what you could do, if you're an intelligent person and not stricken with this Tammy derangement syndrome.
Right. TDS.
TDS.
Yeah.
Ooh. It's also a mechanical thing, means top dead center. Means when you get that number one piston up to the top of its throw, they call it get to TDS when you're setting the timing for a car. But anyway, top dead center. TDS, if you didn't have this, you
top
could.
Dead center? Center
Oh, sorry.
begins with a C.
TDC, sorry.
Okay.
TDC.
Okay.
You're right. Just checking you. TDC, top dead center. Thank you. Took a second. If you didn't have this syndrome, then I could say to you, how was Tammy's ambrosia salad? And you could say, that bitch fucks up everything she touches except ambrosia salad. It was pretty good.
You could be honest.
And then I'd go, well, now I would tend to believe you if you told me about her, because you're saying, I don't like this person, but she knows her way around a gelatin mold. But if you're just going to go nuts on everything all the time, even stuff like, again, you got a $1.3 billion capital that's not done, that the taxpayers are paying for, that you won't be transparent about, and you're doing a thing with Trump for $300,000, that's not even something that he's going to be around to use much longer, and donations are paying for it, then no, I don't believe you for anything on this subject.
So when you do it like that, when you have the derangement, you can say things like, I didn't even eat the ambrosia salad because Tammy poisons people with that stuff.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. She put aquarium cleaner in it, or bleach.
Yep.
She injected bleach into her ambrosia salad. Andrew, how do you make ambrosia salad? Is it gelatin, mini marshmallows, and like fruit pieces?
It sounds right.
People used to have Jell-O molds. What a time. What a time.
People used to bring that to like a potluck when we were kids.
Moms made casseroles.
Yeah.
And gelatin. They had molds for Jell-O.
That's right.
Special molds.
That's right.
It was it was a better America.
But the people who made the ambrosia salad and they brought that Jell-O mold, I think my mom always looked down on them.
Ambrosia salad is made by mixing a creamy dressing, often a combination of sour cream and whipped topping or whipped cream, with a variety of canned and fresh fruits like pineapple and mandarin oranges, along with mini marshmallows, coconut, and sometimes nuts.
Gross.
Or cherries.
And there's but it's put in a mold, right? Like it's solidified.
Yeah, it's like on a bundt cake.
Does it have Jell-O? Yeah, it's got Jell-O in it.
The ingredients are gently folded together to avoid crushing the fruit, and the salad is then chilled for at least a couple of hours.
Well, it's got to be chilled because it's Jell-O, though, right?
But how does it get its firmness, I guess, if it's just cream, and what's holding it together?
I think that's what the chilling is for. That's how it congeals.
It's cream and what?
A creamy dressing.
Oh, creamy dressing.
Sour cream or like a ranch or something like that. Often a combination. A whipped topping. A whipped cream.
Ranch would be a shit show.
Yeah.
Ugh. But there's no gelatin. I guess.
I'll go for the band ambrosia. I'll take a mellow ballad over a Jell-O salad any day.
That's how much I feel for you, baby. How much I need you. I need your touch.
Yeah.
Traditional ambrosia salad recipes generally do not include added gelatin as a primary ingredient.
Okay.
Damn, I've been living a lie.
I know. I always thought that ambrosia was the Jell-O salad.
Well,
but I
maybe
guess Jell-O salad's a different thing.
Maybe we bastardized it out here in L.A. We do tend to put our own stink on things.
That's a pretty lofty name for something, too. Isn't ambrosia like a sense of ecstasy or something?
Mm-hmm.
Never before has the name of food been so far away from what it actually is.
Yeah, like ambrosia salad, you would probably be disappointed. And actually, in terms of calories with the word salad,
yeah,
I feel like move over taco salad.
Oh, yeah.
There's a new caloric champ of something that has the word salad in it that actually will make you fatter than taco salad.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. The congealing thickness and setting of ambrosia salad is primarily caused by the interaction of the creamy base ingredients and the chilling process.
But that is Google AI overview, so maybe they have an anti-gelatin slant.
Aha! The whole Cosby thing has pulled gelatin off.
We got to go to Grok.
We got to go to Grok to get to the truth about ambrosia salad.
Yep. I'd like to see a picture of what they're calling ambrosia salad, too, because I always thought it was green Jell-O.
It's in a mold, and it does have the stuff. I don't know. I think, can we say this? There was a time when ambrosia salad and fruitcake dominated, and then at some point people went, does anyone like this shit? And someone went, no. And then someone went, why have we been eating it at parties for 37 years if no one likes it? And the answer is, I don't know. And by the way, as long as we're having this conversation, what's going on with the parsley by the side of the plate? Anyone ever eat it?
Yeah.
And the answer is nope. And then get rid of it. And we grew up as a nation, and thank God we did. All right, Dawson, let me tell you, this Thursday, Boston, the Wilbur Theater. That's a beautiful, beautiful theater. Come on out, say hi. I'll be doing some stand-up there. And then off to Buffalo, Electric City. That'll be the day after. And then off to Duluth, Georgia, to do an arena with
Megyn Kelly.
Megyn Kelly, everybody. Go to AdamCarolla.com for all the live shows.
Hey, by the way, I got a big show Friday night in Concord, California. I'm doing 40 minutes at Garinger Garden. Big stand-up show in Concord. You can follow me at Los Angeles for the information.
All right. And Cheryl Hines, Unscripted, the book. And until next time, it's Adam Carolla for Dawson and Cheryl Hines saying mahalo.